I found my adopted daughter expecting a baby while living in her car. She was shaken to see me. Then I uncovered. Evelyn Harper sat at a small kitchen table long after the sun had gone down. The house was quiet in a way that felt too heavy, like it was pressing against her chest. Her phone lay face up beside a cold cup of tea. The screen was dark. It had been dark for hours, for days, for weeks. She had checked it so many times that her fingers moved on their own now, unlocking it, scrolling, hoping something new would appear. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss our latest uploads. Lena's name sat near the bottom of her contact list. Evelyn had not moved it to favorites, even though she had thought about it many times. Part of her felt that doing so would make her worry even more. Another part felt guilty, as if not moving it meant she had already failed as a mother. She pressed the call button anyway. The phone rang once, twice, then went to voicemail. Evelyn ended the call before the message prompt began. She already knew what it would say. She leaned back in her chair and closed her eyes. The kitchen smelled faintly of dish soap and old coffee. Everything was clean, maybe too clean, as if she had been scrubbing away more than just dirt. When Lena was younger, the house had never stayed this neat. There were shoes by the door, jackets on chairs, half-finished snacks left on the counter. Back then, the mess had annoyed her. Now she missed it more than she could explain. It had been months since she last heard from her daughter. At first, the silence had come in small pieces. A missed call here. A short reply there. Then the replies stopped coming at all. Evelyn had told herself that Lena was busy, that young adults often drift away as they tried to build their own lives. She had repeated that thought like a prayer, hoping it would become true if she said it enough times. But the feeling in her chest never went away. It only grew stronger, sharper, like something was wrong and trying to get her attention. Evelyn had learned to trust that feeling over the years. It had guided her through hard choices before, including the day she decided to adopt a child. That same quiet voice was speaking to her now, and it was not gentle. She stood and walked to the small hallway where a narrow table held a stack of unopened mail. Most of it was junk, but one envelope near the bottom caught her eye. It had Lena's name on it. Evelyn had seen it before and pushed it aside, telling herself she would deal with it later. Now she picked it up with shaking hands. The envelope had been marked and returned. The address was crossed out in red ink, with a short note printed on the front. No longer at this address. Evelyn felt her stomach drop. She turned the envelope over as if the answer might be written on the back. It was not. She pressed it flat against the table, staring at it until the words blurred. Lena had moved and had not told her. That thought hurt more than Evelyn wanted to admit. She tried to remember their last real conversation. It had been short. Lena had sounded tired, distracted. She had said she was fine, that everything was under control. Evelyn had believed her because she wanted to. She had always wanted to believe her. Evelyn returned to the kitchen and sat down again. She opened her laptop, the old one that took too long to start and made a soft humming sound when it worked too hard. She typed Lena's name into the search bar, then deleted it. She typed it again, this time adding the city where Lena had last lived. The results were thin and unhelpful. Old social media pages. Outdated profiles. Nothing recent. She clicked through photos from years ago. Lena at 12, smiling with braces that caught the light. Lena at 16, arms crossed, trying to look serious but failing. Lena on her first day of college, standing by a packed car with hope written all over her face. Evelyn felt tears sting her eyes. She wiped them away quickly, annoyed with herself. The truth was, she blamed herself. She wondered if she had pushed too hard or not hard enough. If she had said the wrong thing during one of their last talks. If Lena had felt judged, or unwanted, or alone. Evelyn had promised herself long ago that she would never let her daughter feel abandoned. Yet here she was, sitting in silence, with no idea where her child was or if she was safe. She remembered the early days after the adoption, when Lena was small and quiet and watched everything with careful eyes. Trust had come slowly then. Evelyn had worked for it, earning it day by day with patience and love. She had thought that once it was built, it would last forever. Now she wondered if trust could fade, just like voices on a phone line. Evelyn checked the time. It was past midnight. The street outside was still, the streetlight casting a pale glow through the window. She imagined Lena somewhere out there, maybe in another city, maybe just a few streets away. The not knowing was the hardest part. It filled every empty space in her mind. She opened a notebook from the drawer and flipped through pages filled with old lists and notes. On one page, she had written Lena's old address, a few phone numbers, and the names of friends Lena used to mention. She had written them down months ago, telling herself she was being prepared, not worried. Now the words felt urgent. One name stood out, someone Lena had talked about often a year ago. Evelyn hesitated before writing it down on a fresh page. She told herself she would start there tomorrow. She needed sleep. Or at least she needed to lie down and pretend to sleep. But even as she closed the notebook, her hands did not stop shaking. She walked into the living room and picked up a framed photo from the shelf. It showed her and Lena on a beach years earlier, both laughing, hair blown by the wind. Evelyn traced the edge of the frame with her thumb. For a moment, she let herself remember how close they had been, how safe everything had felt. "I'm coming," she whispered into the quiet room, though no one was there to hear it. Saying the words made her feel both stronger and more afraid. Because once she started looking, she knew she might find things she was not ready to face. Evelyn placed the photo back on the shelf and turned off the lights. As she walked to her bedroom, her mind raced with questions that had no answers yet. Where was Lena sleeping at night? Who was she with? Was she eating well? Was she scared? Each question landed like a small weight on her heart. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sounds of the house settling. Sleep did not come. Instead, images and memories played over and over in her mind. She realized then that waiting was no longer an option. Whatever distance had grown between them, whatever mistakes had been made, she could not ignore the feeling any longer. By the time the first light of morning touched the window, Evelyn had made her decision. She would find her daughter. Not as someone angry or demanding, but as a mother who cared too much to stay still. The unease in her chest did not fade, but it changed into something else. Determination. She got out of bed and stood by the window, watching the quiet street wake up. Somewhere out there, Lena's life was unfolding without her. Evelyn did not know what she would find when their paths crossed again. She only knew that silence was no longer acceptable. And whatever came next, she would face it head on, guided by the same love that had brought Lena into her life all those years ago. Evelyn drove slowly through the quiet streets, her hands tight on the steering wheel. She had followed a thin trail of half-answers, old names, and places that no longer felt right. Each stop had led to another dead end, another reminder that time had passed without her noticing. The sun was low now, casting long shadows across empty parking lots and closed storefronts. She circled behind a grocery store that had shut down months earlier. The building looked tired, with faded signs and weeds pushing through cracks in the pavement. Evelyn did not know why she slowed down, only that something pulled at her chest, the same feeling she had learned not to ignore. She parked at a distance and scanned the lot. Near the far edge, partly hidden by a line of dumpsters, sat a small car. It looked out of place, not abandoned but not welcome either. Evelyn's breath caught. The car was familiar. She had seen it before years ago, when Lena had saved up enough money to buy it herself. Evelyn had been so proud that day. Her heart pounded as she stepped out of her car. The air smelled of dust and old trash. She walked slowly, afraid that if she moved too fast, the moment would break apart. As she got closer, she noticed blankets stuffed into the back window and clothes piled in the front seat. The sight made her stomach twist. The driver's door opened suddenly. Lena stepped out, her movements stiff, like she was ready to run. She looked thinner than Evelyn remembered, her face pale, dark circles under her eyes. She wore an oversized jacket that hung loosely on her shoulders. When she saw Evelyn, she froze. For a second, neither of them spoke. The space between them felt heavy with everything that had gone unsaid. Lena's eyes widened, then narrowed, her body tensing as if she expected something bad to happen. "What are you doing here?" Lena asked. Her voice was sharp, but it shook at the end. Evelyn opened her mouth, then closed it again. All the words she had practiced on the drive vanished. "I was looking for you," she finally said. "I've been worried." Lena let out a short, bitter laugh. "You shouldn't be." She turned slightly, as if to shield herself, and that was when Evelyn noticed the shape beneath the jacket. It was subtle, but it was there. Evelyn's breath caught in her throat. "No," Evelyn whispered, more to herself than to Lena. Her eyes dropped, then lifted again. "Lena, are you?" "Don't," Lena said quickly. She crossed her arms, pulling the jacket tighter. Fear flashed across her face. "Don't say it." Evelyn felt the world tilt. The realization hit her all at once, heavy and undeniable. Her daughter was pregnant, standing in an empty parking lot, living out of her car. "How long?" Evelyn asked softly. Lena looked away. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," Evelyn said. Her voice broke, and she hated that it did. She took a step closer, then stopped when Lena flinched. "It always mattered." Lena's eyes filled with tears she clearly refused to let fall. "You weren't supposed to see me like this." Evelyn's chest tightened. "Like what?" "Like a failure," Lena said. The word landed hard between them. "I didn't want you to know how bad it got." Evelyn shook her head slowly. "You're not a failure. You're my daughter." "That doesn't change anything," Lena snapped. "I messed up. I can handle it." "Living in your car?" Evelyn asked, unable to keep the pain out of her voice. "You call this handling it?" Lena's shoulders slumped for just a moment before she straightened again. "I didn't have a choice." Evelyn wanted to ask 100 questions, but she could see how close Lena was to shutting down completely. So she chose her next words carefully. "Talk to me," she said. "Please." Lena stared at the ground. "There's nothing to talk about." Evelyn glanced at the car, at the way it had become a small, fragile shelter. She imagined Lena sleeping curled up inside, trying to stay warm, trying to stay invisible. The thought made her throat ache. "You don't have to do this alone," Evelyn said. "You never did." Lena's eyes snapped back to hers. "You don't get it," she said. "I didn't want your pity. I didn't want your disappointment." "Disappointment," Evelyn repeated. "Is that what you think I feel?" Lena hesitated. "I dropped out. I couldn't keep up. Everything started falling apart, and I didn't know how to tell you. Every time you called, I thought, just one more week. I'll fix it first." And then I didn't. Evelyn listened, her heart breaking with every word. "Why didn't you come home?" Lena's voice dropped. "Because I didn't feel like I deserved to." Silence settled between them again. A car passed on the road nearby, unaware of the moment unfolding behind the store. Evelyn took a slow breath. "You look exhausted." "I am," Lena said quietly. "Are you eating?" Lena shrugged. "Enough." Evelyn knew that answer meant not really. She reached into her purse and pulled out a bottle of water and a snack she had brought without thinking. She held them out gently. Lena hesitated, then took them, her hands trembling slightly. They stood there, eating in silence. Evelyn wanted to reach out, to touch Lena's arm, but she waited. Trust, she remembered, had to be earned again. "Are you safe?" Evelyn asked at last. Lena nodded. "Mostly." The word mostly echoed painfully. Evelyn felt tears slip down her cheeks, and this time she did not wipe them away. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I should have done more." Lena looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time her guard slipped. I didn't want to drag you into this. You didn't drag me, Evelyn said. I came because I love you. Lena swallowed hard. I don't know what to do anymore. Evelyn stepped closer, slow and careful, and this time Lena did not pull away. Then we'll figure it out together, she said. Lena's shoulders shook as quiet sobs finally escaped. Evelyn wrapped her arms around her, holding her the way she used to when Lena was small. The embrace was awkward at first, then desperate. Evelyn felt how thin her daughter was, how tired. When they pulled apart, Lena wiped her face. You shouldn't have to fix this. I'm not fixing you, Evelyn said. I'm standing with you. The sky was darkening now, the first stars appearing faintly above the store. Evelyn knew this was only the beginning. There were questions still unanswered, wounds still open. But standing there, behind a closed grocery store, she knew one thing clearly. Finding Lena had not ended the pain. It had revealed it. And whatever came next would change both of their lives in ways she could not yet imagine. They sat inside Evelyn's car with the engine off, the quiet pressing in on them. The parking lot lights hummed above, casting a dull glow through the windshield. Lena sat stiffly in the passenger seat, hands folded in her lap, eyes fixed straight ahead. Evelyn sat beside her, unsure where to begin. I can get you a room tonight, Evelyn said carefully. Just for a few days. Somewhere warm and quiet. Lena shook her head without looking at her. I don't need that. You don't need to sleep in your car either, Evelyn replied. Lena's jaw tightened. I've been doing it. I'm fine. The words sounded rehearsed, like something Lena had said to herself many times. Evelyn recognized that tone. She had used it herself once years ago, when life felt too heavy to explain. I'm not here to control you, Evelyn said. I just want to help. That's the thing, Lena said suddenly, turning toward her. Her eyes were sharp, guarded. You always say that. But it never feels like help. It feels like pressure. Evelyn flinched. Pressure. Do better. Be better. Don't mess up, Lena continued. Her voice rose slightly. That's what I always heard, even when you didn't say it out loud. That was never my intention, Evelyn said quickly. I know, Lena said. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. Silence fell again. A truck rumbled past on the road, its headlights sweeping briefly across the car. Evelyn stared at the dashboard, at a small crack near the radio she had never bothered to fix. When did you start feeling this way? She asked. Lena let out a slow breath. A long time ago. Evelyn waited. When I moved out, Lena continued. Everyone kept saying how proud you must be. How lucky I was. And you were proud. I could see it. But once I was gone, it felt like, that was it. Like I was supposed to know how to be an adult overnight. I thought giving you space was the right thing, Evelyn said softly. It felt like distance, Lena replied. Like you were relieved I wasn't your problem anymore. The words cut deeper than Evelyn expected. You were never a problem. Lena laughed quietly, without humor. Then why did it feel like I had to figure everything out alone? Evelyn struggled for an answer. She replayed old memories in her mind. Short phone calls. Missed visits. Moments she had assumed were small, harmless. She saw them differently now. I didn't know you needed me that much, Evelyn admitted. That's the point, Lena said. You didn't know. Evelyn felt tears burn behind her eyes. I wish you had told me. I tried, Lena said. Just not in the right words. I'd say I was tired, or stressed, or overwhelmed. You'd tell me to push through. To stay strong. I thought I was encouraging you, Evelyn whispered. It felt like you didn't want to hear that I was struggling, Lena said. So I stopped saying it. Evelyn's hands trembled slightly as she folded them together. I'm sorry, she said. I didn't realize I was closing the door on you. Lena looked at her then, really looked at her, searching her face. By the time things got really bad, I didn't know how to come back. I felt embarrassed. Ashamed. You never have to earn your place with me, Evelyn said. That's easy to say now, Lena replied. But it didn't feel true back then. Evelyn nodded slowly. You're right. And I can't change that. I can only tell you what I feel now. Lena said nothing. I missed you, Evelyn continued. Every day. Even when we weren't talking, I thought about you. I worried. I just didn't know how to reach you without pushing you further away. Lena stared out the window. I learned not to expect anyone to catch me, she said quietly. So when things started falling apart, I handled them the only way I knew how. Alone. Evelyn imagined Lena facing one problem after another, choosing silence each time. The thought made her chest ache. When I found out I was pregnant, Lena said, her voice barely above a whisper, I felt like that was it. Proof that I had failed at everything. Evelyn turned toward her. A baby is not proof of failure. It felt like it to me, Lena said. Because I didn't know how to tell you. Or anyone. Why? Because I thought you'd look at me differently, Lena replied. Like you'd see all the ways I didn't live up to what you hoped for. Evelyn shook her head. I hoped you'd be safe. And loved. That's all. Lena's eyes filled, but she blinked the tears away. I wish I had believed that. They sat in silence again, but this time it felt different. Heavier, but more honest. I'm not asking you to trust me overnight, Evelyn said. I know that wall didn't build itself. Lena gave a small nod. But I don't want to stand on the other side of it anymore, Evelyn continued. Even if all I can do right now is stay. Lena's shoulders relaxed slightly. Just a little. I don't know how to let you in, she admitted. That's okay, Evelyn said. We can take it slow. Lena was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, I'm scared. Evelyn reached out and rested her hand gently on the center console, close enough to be felt, not forced. So am I. Lena glanced at her hand, then back at Evelyn's face. I don't want to fight anymore. Neither do I, Evelyn replied. The wall between them was still there. Years of misunderstanding did not disappear in one night. But cracks had formed, small ones, enough for light to get through. Outside, the parking lot lights flickered on as night settled fully around them. Inside the car, two people sat with their pain laid bare, unsure of the future but no longer completely alone. For the first time in a long while, the silence between them was not empty. It was waiting. Morning came slowly. A pale light slipped through the windshield and settled across the dashboard. Evelyn stirred first, her neck stiff from sleeping upright. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then she saw Lena beside her, curled slightly toward the window, eyes closed but face tense, like sleep had not been kind. Evelyn watched her daughter breathe. Each rise and fall of Lena's chest brought a mix of relief and sadness. She wondered how many mornings Lena had woken like this, alone, stiff, bracing herself before the day even began. Evelyn cleared her throat softly. Lena, she said. Lena opened her eyes at once, alert. It was clear she was used to waking fast. What time is it? Still early, Evelyn said. We don't have to rush. Lena nodded, rubbing her face. I should move the car before the store manager comes. You don't have to, Evelyn replied. You can come with me. We can get breakfast. Lena hesitated. I don't want to be a burden. Evelyn met her gaze. Eating breakfast with me is not a burden. After a pause, Lena nodded. They drove in silence at first. The streets were waking up, people heading to work, lights flicking on in small shops. Evelyn wondered how many people passed Lena every day without noticing her story. The thought unsettled her. They stopped at a small diner near the edge of town. It was quiet inside, with only a few customers scattered across the booths. Evelyn chose a corner seat. Lena slid in across from her, keeping her jacket on. When the food arrived, Lena ate slowly, like she wasn't sure it would last. Evelyn watched without comment, pretending to focus on her own plate. She knew better than to make Lena feel watched. After a while, Evelyn spoke. "You don't have to tell me everything," she said. "But if you want to talk, I'm here." Lena stared at her coffee. "There's a lot. We have time," Evelyn said. Lena let out a breath. "I was with someone," she began. "For almost 2 years." Evelyn waited. "At first it felt good," Lena continued. "Like someone finally saw me. Listened to me." Evelyn felt a quiet ache in her chest but stayed silent. "He was older," Lena said. "Not by much, but enough that he seemed to have everything figured out. He talked big. Made plans. Told me I was smart, that I deserved more than what I had." "That must have felt comforting," Evelyn said gently. Lena nodded. "It did. Especially when I felt lost." She paused, then added, "When school got hard, he told me it was okay to take a break. Said degrees didn't matter, that experience was better." Evelyn's hands tightened slightly around her coffee mug. "And you trusted him?" "I did," Lena said. "I needed to." The words lingered between them. "I left school," Lena went on. "I didn't tell you right away because I thought I could fix it. I thought I'd find a job, get back on my feet, prove it wasn't a mistake." "And the job?" Evelyn asked. Lena shook her head. "Didn't last. The hours were cut first. Then I was let go. He said it was fine. That we'd figure something out." Evelyn heard the doubt in Lena's voice now, creeping in around the edges. "But we didn't," Lena said. "Bills piled up. We argued. He said I worried too much. That I needed to trust him." Evelyn felt anger stir, but she kept her voice calm. "What happened next?" Lena looked away. "One day he left. Just gone. Took what little money we had. Blocked my calls." Evelyn closed her eyes briefly. "I'm so sorry. I felt stupid," Lena said. "Like I should have seen it coming." "You were vulnerable," Evelyn replied. "That doesn't make you stupid." Lena shrugged. "It felt that way." They sat quietly for a moment. Outside, a bus pulled up, letting off a small group of people who hurried inside another cafe nearby. "I tried staying with a friend," Lena said. "But I didn't want to overstay. I could tell they were getting tired of me." Evelyn remembered Lena's words from the night before. Not wanting to be a burden. "So I left," Lena said. "I thought it would be temporary. Just a few nights in the car. Then it turned into weeks." "And the pregnancy?" Evelyn asked carefully. Lena's hand went to her stomach without thinking. "I didn't know at first. I was sick all the time. Tired. When I found out, I panicked." "Did you tell anyone?" Lena shook her head. "I couldn't. I didn't know who to trust anymore." Evelyn reached across the table, stopping just short of touching Lena's hand. "You can trust me." Lena looked at her, eyes searching. "I want to," she said. "I'm just scared I'll get hurt again." Evelyn nodded. "That makes sense." They finished their meal slowly. When they left the diner, the day had fully arrived. Sunlight warmed the pavement, and for a moment the world looked almost normal. Back in the car, Lena spoke again. "There's something else." Evelyn glanced at her. "Go on." "He wasn't the only one," Lena said. "There was someone else I leaned on. A co-worker. She told me I didn't need family. Said I should cut ties, focus on myself." Evelyn felt a sting at the words but kept listening. "She said depending on people only leads to disappointment," Lena continued. "At the time, it felt true." Evelyn thought of the small comments, the quiet influences that can change a person's path without them realizing it. "I started believing I was on my own," Lena said. "So when things fell apart, I didn't reach out. I thought that was strength." Evelyn shook her head gently. "Strength can also be asking for help." Lena gave a small, tired smile. I'm starting to see that. They drove for a while without speaking. Evelyn watched the road, thinking about how easily trust could be misplaced, how quickly guidance could turn into harm when someone was already unsure. Thank you for telling me, Evelyn said at last. Lena nodded. It feels strange saying it out loud. I imagine it does. They stopped near a park. Trees lined the path, leaves moving softly in the breeze. Evelyn turned off the engine. We don't have to solve everything today, Evelyn said. But we can start. Lena looked at the park, then back at Evelyn. I don't know what starting looks like. Evelyn smiled faintly. Sometimes it just looks like staying. Lena considered this, then nodded slowly. They sat together, watching people walk by with dogs and strollers, ordinary lives unfolding. Lena rested her hand on her stomach again, thoughtful. I don't want my child to feel the way I did, she said quietly. Evelyn's chest tightened with emotion. Then we'll do better. Together. The past was still heavy between them, filled with broken trust and quiet mistakes. But now the pieces were coming into the light. And with each truth shared, the distance between them grew just a little smaller. They spent the afternoon moving slowly, as if rushing might break something fragile between them. Evelyn suggested a quiet place to sit, somewhere neutral, not her house yet, not the car either. They ended up in a small public library near the park. It was calm inside, filled with soft footsteps and the smell of old paper. They chose a table near the back. Sunlight filtered through tall windows, warming the wood beneath their hands. Lena seemed more relaxed here, her shoulders less tense, her breathing steadier. Evelyn spoke first. You mentioned before that he promised things, she said carefully. Stability. A plan. Lena nodded. He always talked about the future, she said. About how we wouldn't have to struggle forever. What did that look like? Evelyn asked. Lena thought for a moment. At first, it was small things. He said he'd help with rent. That he'd cover groceries if I was short. He liked being needed. Evelyn listened closely. Then it became advice, Lena continued. What jobs to take. What friends were a bad influence. What I should stop telling my family. Evelyn's chest tightened. Did he ask you not to talk to me? Lena hesitated. Not directly. He just said you wouldn't understand. That you'd worry too much. That it was better to handle things on our own. The words landed heavily. He made it sound reasonable, Lena said. Like independence. Evelyn nodded slowly. And when you questioned him? He'd say I was overthinking. That stress was my problem, not the situation. Evelyn saw the pattern clearly now, the way doubt had been turned inward. I started apologizing all the time, Lena said quietly. For being scared. For asking questions. For needing reassurance. Evelyn felt a wave of anger rise, sharp and protective, but she kept her voice steady. That's not partnership, she said. That's control. Lena looked down at her hands. I didn't see it that way then. Most people don't, Evelyn replied. Especially when they're already under pressure. Lena swallowed. When I found out I was pregnant, I told him right away. I thought it would make things real. Evelyn leaned forward slightly. What happened? He went quiet, Lena said. Said we needed time to think. Then he stopped answering messages. A few days later, he was gone. Evelyn closed her eyes briefly. I'm so sorry. It felt like the ground disappeared, Lena said. One moment I was clinging to the idea that everything would work out. The next, I was completely alone. Evelyn reached across the table and this time rested her hand over Lena's. Lena didn't pull away. I kept replaying everything, Lena said. Every conversation. Wondering where I went wrong. You didn't, Evelyn said firmly. You were trying to survive. Lena looked up, startled by the certainty in Evelyn's voice. You were young, Evelyn continued. Stressed. Trying to prove you could stand on your own. And someone took advantage of that. Tears filled Lena's eyes. I thought I was weak. No, Evelyn said. You were trusting. There's a difference. They sat quietly for a while. Around them, pages turned softly, chairs shifted, life moved on at a gentle pace. There's something else, Lena said at last. After he left, I tried reaching out once more. Just for closure. Evelyn tensed. Did he respond? Lena shook her head. But someone else did. A message from a new number. It said he wasn't ready for responsibility. That I should stop contacting him. Evelyn felt a chill. That must have hurt. It did, Lena said. But it also made me realize something. He had already moved on. I was still stuck, cleaning up the mess. Evelyn squeezed her hand gently. That was never fair to you. Lena took a shaky breath. After that, I shut down. I stopped believing anyone would stay. Evelyn nodded. That explains the silence. The distance. I wasn't being reckless, Lena said, her voice breaking. I was trying to keep going. One day at a time. I see that now, Evelyn replied. And I wish I had seen it sooner. Lena wiped her cheeks. I didn't give you the chance. Maybe not, Evelyn said. But we have it now. They stood and walked slowly through the library stacks. Lena paused near a shelf of children's books, her fingers brushing the spines. I used to imagine reading these someday, she said quietly. Evelyn smiled softly. You still can. Lena rested a hand on her stomach, thoughtful. I don't want my child growing up thinking love disappears when things get hard. Evelyn met her gaze. Then we'll show them something different. Outside, clouds drifted across the sky, breaking to let the sun through again. Evelyn felt the shift inside herself. The story she had been telling herself, of mistakes and distance, was changing. Lena had not been careless. She had been cornered by fear, misled by promises, and left to pick up the pieces alone. As they walked back toward the car, Evelyn felt a quiet resolve settle in her chest. Protectiveness, yes. But also clarity. This was not about fixing the past. It was about understanding it. And now that the truth had surfaced, Evelyn knew one thing for certain. She would never let Lena carry it alone again. They returned to Evelyn's house just before evening. The place looked the same as it always had, neat and quiet, but to Lena it felt unfamiliar, like stepping into a memory that no longer fully belonged to her. She stood in the doorway for a moment, unsure. You can come in, Evelyn said gently. There's no rush. Lena nodded and stepped inside. The door closed softly behind them. The sound felt final, heavier than Lena expected. They moved into the living room. Evelyn turned on a lamp, bathing the space in warm light. Lena sat on the edge of the couch, hands folded, eyes scanning the room. Everything felt too calm for the storm building inside her. Evelyn sat across from her, leaving space between them. You don't have to say anything right now, she said. Lena shook her head. If I don't say it now, I won't. Evelyn waited. I spent a long time thinking about why it was so easy for me to disappear, Lena began. Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled. Why I didn't fight harder to stay connected. Evelyn leaned forward slightly, listening. I think part of me believed I was never really supposed to stay, Lena continued. Like I was borrowed. Like one day, you'd realize I didn't belong. The words hit Evelyn like a physical blow. Lena. I know you never said that, Lena said quickly. But I felt it. When I was younger, whenever I messed up, I thought, this is it. This is when she'll regret choosing me. Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. I never once regretted you. Lena nodded slowly. I hear that now. But back then, I didn't believe it. I tried to be perfect. Quiet. Easy to love. Evelyn covered her mouth, a quiet sob escaping before she could stop it. When I moved out, Lena said, and things got hard, I told myself I didn't deserve help. That I'd already taken enough. That's not true, Evelyn whispered. I know, Lena said. But it felt true. Evelyn wiped her cheeks and took a shaky breath. I need to tell you something too, she said. Lena looked up. I was afraid, Evelyn admitted. Afraid of doing the wrong thing. Afraid of holding on too tight. Lena listened silently. So when you pulled away, I told myself it was normal. That giving you space was love. Evelyn's voice broke. But sometimes it was easier than asking hard questions. Easier than listening when the answers scared me. Lena swallowed hard. There were moments, Evelyn continued, when I sensed something was wrong. And instead of leaning in, I stepped back. I told myself you were strong. Independent. But the truth is, I chose distance when I should have chosen presence. The room was very quiet. I thought if I trusted you to handle things, it meant I believed in you, Evelyn said. I didn't realize it also meant you felt alone. Lena's eyes brimmed with tears. I did feel alone. Evelyn nodded. I see that now. They sat with the weight of it, neither rushing to fill the silence. I blamed myself for everything, Lena said softly. For failing. For trusting the wrong people. For ending up where I did. And I blamed myself too, Evelyn replied. For not noticing. For not insisting. For not showing up when you needed me most. Lena looked down. I didn't think I was wanted enough to be missed. Evelyn stood abruptly and crossed the room. She knelt in front of Lena, careful, gentle. You were always wanted, she said firmly. I missed you every day. Even when I didn't know how to reach you. Lena's breath hitched. Then why did it feel like I had to earn your love? Evelyn's voice shook. Because I failed to say it out loud enough. Because I assumed you knew. Tears spilled freely now, from both of them. I should have told you every day, Evelyn said. That you were mine. That you were enough. That nothing you did could change that. Lena pressed her hands to her face, crying openly. I needed that so badly. Evelyn reached out and pulled her into an embrace. This time, Lena did not hesitate. She clung to Evelyn, sobbing, years of fear and doubt finally breaking free. I'm sorry, Evelyn whispered over and over. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry too, Lena said through tears. For shutting you out. For assuming the worst. They held each other for a long time, neither counting the minutes. When they finally pulled apart, Lena wiped her eyes. I don't know how to fix all of this. We don't have to fix it all at once, Evelyn said. We just have to be honest. Like this. Lena nodded. I'm scared it's too late. Evelyn shook her head. It's not. They sat back on the couch, closer now. I don't want to run anymore, Lena said. You don't have to, Evelyn replied. Outside, the sky darkened, night settling in. Inside the house, something long buried had finally been spoken. The past had not changed. The hurt had not vanished. But for the first time, the truth stood between them, clear and painful and real. And somehow, that honesty felt like the beginning of something new. The next morning felt different. Not lighter exactly, but steadier. The kind of calm that comes after something heavy has been spoken aloud. Sunlight filled the kitchen as Evelyn moved quietly, setting 2 mugs on the counter. The smell of coffee drifted through the room. Lena stood near the window, watching the backyard. She held her stomach absent-mindedly, her thoughts far away. You didn't have to make breakfast, Lena said. I wanted to, Evelyn replied. They sat at the small table, the same one where Evelyn had waited so many nights in silence. Now, there was someone across from her again. Evelyn took a breath. I want to talk about what comes next, she said. Lena's shoulders tensed. I don't want rules. Evelyn nodded. I'm not offering rules. Lena looked at her cautiously. I'm offering support, Evelyn continued. Real help. And you get to decide what that looks like. Lena studied her face, searching for something controlling, something familiar. She didn't find it. You can stay here, Evelyn said. As long as you need. No deadlines. No pressure. Lena swallowed. That feels like too much. Then we can start smaller, Evelyn said. A few weeks. We'll reassess. Lena nodded slowly. I can help you get medical care, Evelyn added. Appointments. Transportation. Just support. Lena hesitated. I should handle that myself. You can, Evelyn said. And I can walk beside you. The words hung there, gentle but firm. I don't want to feel like I owe you, Lena said quietly. You don't, Evelyn replied. This isn't a debt. It's family. Lena looked down at her hands. Pride and fear wrestled inside her. She had survived by telling herself she needed no one. Letting go of that belief felt risky. What about work? Lena asked. I can't just sit here. I wouldn't want you to, Evelyn said. When you're ready, we can look at options together. Training programs. Part-time work. Something realistic. Lena nodded. Together, she repeated softly. They fell quiet again. I'm scared, Lena admitted. Every time I start to trust something, I expect it to fall apart. Evelyn reached across the table, palm open. Lena looked at it for a long moment before placing her hand in it. I can't promise nothing will ever go wrong, Evelyn said. But I can promise I won't disappear. Lena's eyes filled. That matters more than you know. Later that day, they took a short walk around the neighborhood. The air was cool, leaves crunching underfoot. Lena moved slowly, careful of her balance. Evelyn matched her pace without comment. They passed families, dogs, people living ordinary lives. Lena watched them with a mix of longing and uncertainty. I want better for my child, Lena said quietly. You're already choosing better, Evelyn replied. But what if I fail again? Evelyn stopped and turned toward her. Failing doesn't mean you stop being worthy of help. Lena nodded, absorbing the words. That evening, Lena unpacked a small bag in the guest room. She placed her clothes neatly in a drawer, pausing when she found an old photo Evelyn had left on the dresser. It showed the two of them years ago, laughing. Lena sat on the bed, holding the photo. I forgot what hope felt like, she said when Evelyn appeared in the doorway. It's still allowed, Evelyn replied with a gentle smile. They talked about practical things after that. Budgets. Appointments. One step at a time. Nothing overwhelming. As night settled in, Lena lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in months, she wasn't listening for danger. She rested a hand on her stomach, feeling a quiet determination grow. She didn't have all the answers. But she wasn't alone. In the other room, Evelyn turned off the lights and paused, listening to the house. It no longer felt empty. The future was uncertain, full of careful steps and honest conversations yet to come. But for the first time in a long while, both mother and daughter were moving forward, together. Life did not change all at once. It shifted slowly, in small, steady ways. Lena no longer slept in her car. The guest room became hers for now, with a few clothes in the closet and a soft lamp by the bed. Some nights she still woke up suddenly, heart racing, expecting to be somewhere else. But each morning, she woke up under a real roof, in a quiet house, and that mattered. Evelyn learned to move carefully, not out of fear, but out of respect. She asked instead of assuming. She listened more than she spoke. When Lena needed space, she gave it. When Lena asked for help, she showed up without questions. They did not agree on everything. Some conversations ended in frustration. Some plans had to be changed. Healing was not smooth, and neither of them pretended it was. But they kept talking. Lena started attending appointments regularly. At first, Evelyn sat in the waiting room, reading the same page over and over. Later, Lena asked her to come inside. It felt like a quiet victory, not loud or dramatic, but real. They made lists together. Simple ones. Groceries. Paperwork. Small goals that felt possible. Lena took a short training course that fit her energy level. It wasn't perfect, but it was a step. Some days, Lena felt strong. Other days, fear crept back in. On those days, she reminded herself that asking for help did not erase her independence. It reshaped it. One afternoon, Lena stood in the driveway, looking at her car. It still held the weight of what she had been through. Evelyn joined her, standing quietly at her side. "I don't think I'm ready to let it go yet," Lena said. "That's okay," Evelyn replied. "You don't have to rush." Lena nodded. "But I don't want to live in it anymore." Evelyn smiled softly. "You don't have to." Their relationship did not suddenly become perfect. There were moments when old habits surfaced. Times when Lena pulled inward. Times when Evelyn spoke too quickly. But now they noticed. They apologized. They tried again. One evening, they sat on the porch, watching the sky fade from blue to gray. Lena rested her hands on her stomach, feeling movement, feeling life. "I'm still scared," Lena said. "So am I," Evelyn replied. Lena glanced at her. "But it feels different now." Evelyn nodded. "Because you're not facing it alone." Lena thought about the past. About how easily love could be misunderstood when it stayed unspoken. About how silence had shaped so many wrong assumptions. She also thought about the present. About choices. About staying. About learning to believe that care could be consistent. "I don't forgive everything all at once," Lena said honestly. "You don't have to," Evelyn said. "Forgiveness can take time." Lena breathed in slowly. "But I'm willing to try." That night, Lena wrote a short list before bed. Not goals. Not plans. Just words. Safety. Stability. Love that shows up. She closed the notebook and turned off the light. In the weeks that followed, small routines formed. Morning coffee. Short walks. Shared meals. None of it erased the past, but it softened it. Evelyn learned that love was not proven through distance or restraint, but through steady presence. Lena learned that needing someone did not make her weak. It made her human. They stood together at the edge of something new. Not a perfect future. Not a guaranteed one. But a real one. And sometimes that was enough. The story did not end with everything fixed. It ended with something better. A second chance. And the quiet understanding that love, when shown through action, could still change what came next.